Good evening, I'm Adrian Arsenault.
And I'm Andrew Chang. Tonight, an optimistic British Columbia sets course for normal.
This is indeed a good day, and one that I've been waiting for a long time.
We'll tell you the date circled on the calendar.
Also tonight, urgent pleas from worried Manitoba doctors.
We're asking people to stay home, even if the government is not requiring it.
Did the province heed their call for action?
Fresh concerns about digging for shellfish.
I tried to tell them, you shouldn't be picking up those things.
And a year after his murder, imagining George Floyd's legacy in pictures and in words.
If it were my life under his knee, how would you save mine?
This is The National. British Columbia officials gave people in that province a new reason for hope today, and with it, yet another province's picture of what all Canadians could imagine for themselves.
Yeah, BC lifted some of its toughest restrictions and laid out its phased plan towards a full reopen. The scope, pretty ambitious, with the prospect of freer summertime activities and some much-needed relief for industries hard hit by the pandemic. But it hinges on daily cases continuing to fall. Today's case rate was the lowest since the start of February.
So officials were out and forced to give the good news. Briar Stewart looks at how life is already a bit different in the province.
First thing this morning, restaurants in BC were back serving customers indoors.
It's amazing how just being able to sit inside a restaurant can just feel like a sense of normal,
The province unveiled its gradual reopening plan this afternoon, which hinges on case counts continuing to drop and vaccination rates going up.
This is indeed a good day, and one that I've been waiting for a long time, as I'm sure many people in British Columbia have too.
By June 15th, organized indoor gatherings can increase to 50 people and province-wide travel will be allowed. By July 1st, if 70% of people have their first dose, then casinos and nightclubs can reopen with limited capacity, and there can be some spectators for indoor sports. By September 7th, the province hopes all workplaces are fully reopened. Venues will be able to hold large indoor concerts, and wearing a mask will no longer be mandatory. BC hopes for a return to Canada-wide travel by July. Some good news for Robert Sung.
I'm just hankering to get going.
He runs tours in Chinatown and Granville Island and has been relying on staycation tourists during COVID, but he's still being very cautious.
I'm starting to get reservations now, bookings, and I respond to the bookings subject to COVID protocols. Because I have to be factual, I have to be genuine and real to the potential people that are coming in to do the tours.
There's still no certainty around when international travelers can return, but clearer timelines are welcome for those hardest hit by the restrictions.
This is the largest of our 3 venues.
Vancouver's Arts Club Theatre had to cancel 24 shows during the pandemic and hoped to be able to once again stage large productions late this fall.
The larger shows definitely need to have a larger capacity of an audience, and that's what we're hopeful that we can get back to.
Briar Stewart joins us now from Vancouver. So, Briar, given that all of this depends on the case counts continuing to drop, but the vaccination numbers going up, how realistic is this plan?
Well, Adrian, BC's plan from early July on is based on at least 70% of the population being vaccinated, but officials are hopeful that the rate is much higher, and they also believe that they'll be able to give people their second doses much earlier than that 4-month window. Even though virtually all restrictions will be lifted by the fall, officials do say they do realize that some people may be anxious and not ready to put away the masks just yet.
Understandable. Briar Stewart in Vancouver. Thank you, Briar.
Welcome.
Well, Quebec is also moving forward with its gradual reopening plan.
I'd like to congratulate our teams as well as all Quebecers for their solidarity. I'm really proud of Quebecers.
The government is removing some restrictions on Friday, including the 9:30 p.m. curfew and patio dining. Next week, most of the province will see other measures loosened as well, though some areas like Montreal and Laval will remain under maximum alert level for another couple of weeks. Manitoba is in a much different position tonight. It is still very much just trying to get through its third wave. And as Cameron McIntosh tells us, with ICUs packed with COVID patients, doctors stepped out today with a forceful call to the government.
With Manitoba filling ICU beds faster than capacity can be expanded, it's not just that people are being sent out of province for critical care. Those staying in Manitoba are drawing care away from others, says cardiac anesthesiologist Dr. Eric Jacobson.
6 patients have already died on the cardiac surgery waitlist.
Nurses are being pulled from cardiac care to work in ICUs.
It is only the most dire surgical procedures that are continuing now.
He's one of several specialists today calling for a provincial stay-at-home order.
We're asking people to stay home, even if the government is not requiring it.
The province isn't disputing COVID is leading to non-COVID deaths, but how to deal with it is another issue.
There's not a whole bunch more to restrict.
For weeks, the chief medical officer and premier have defended restrictions many have criticized for not going far enough, soon enough. Today, tighter restrictions put in for the May long weekend were extended until next weekend.
Our restrictions will work. They've worked before.
The premier insisting most getting sick now are either not vaccinated or flouting rules.
I don't have a lot of sympathy left for people who disobey public health orders knowingly and willingly.
The test positivity rate in Winnipeg is nearly 16%. 18 ICU patients are being treated in Ontario. Saskatchewan says it will accept 5 others.
We're preparing to deploy.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says he's sending extra nurses, contact tracers, and therapists, along with any other help Manitoba wants.
My job as a federal leader is to be there to support Canadians in every corner of the country, not to judge how provinces have managed it.
Okay, so Cam, the Prime Minister not wanting to judge there, but there is plenty of criticism out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people doing enough judging in this province as it is, basically between politicians, the public, the healthcare community. Everyone's frustrated. Everyone's tired. Of course, it's been 15 months of this. And, you know, the numbers just aren't improving. Manitoba today says it will now expand ICU capacity again to 146 beds. Andrew, there were 72 at the beginning of the pandemic.
Cam McIntosh, thank you.
Moderna says it plans to ask Canada to authorize its vaccine for 12 to 17-year-olds early next month. The company says a study of 3,700 kids found the shot is both safe and effective for that age group. They would get the same 2-dose regime as adults. Right now, kids in Canada 12 and up can only get the Pfizer vaccine. Well, teachers and parents across the country are concerned about the pandemic's impact on the progress of students. In Ontario, where virtual school was a reality for long stretches, some say repeating a grade should be an option. Deanna Sumnak-Johnson has the story.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Born in late December, Nicholas N.W.T has the challenge of being the youngest kid in class. Now add the disruptions of the past year, and his parents think he should repeat senior kindergarten rather than enter grade 1 in September.
We feel like he's being cheated out of his experience a little bit as a result of the circumstances that we find ourselves in right now.
The school board denied their request, so they enlisted the help of this education consultant who says she's had several clients ask for the same thing.
The parent should be asked what their choice is, just like they were asked whether their child is returning to in-person or virtual learning for next year. It should be part of the same type of choice and conversation.
Parents and teachers agree COVID-19 disruptions have caused kids to fall behind academically. Learning loss emerged as a major concern for more than 9,000 educators who completed a recent CBC News questionnaire. But school boards aren't likely to support holding students back.
We've always seen a range of student achievement and student success and what that looks like. And we meet every student where they're at and move them forward. So that strategy is going to stay.
It's a good strategy in normal times, says this academic, but in such an abnormal year, with no other clear plan to help kids, repeating a grade should be on the table.
Given that we are not seeing such broad-based reforms, we have to rethink whether or not that might be a feasible or a strategy. It's not the best strategy, but it might be the least worst strategy.
It's a strategy the N.W.T family is actively pursuing. They have launched a complaint to the provincial ombudsman as some families face a steep learning curve in trying to help their kids catch up. Deanna Sumanag-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
A Canadian reservist is facing a rare mutiny-related charge for allegedly urging members of the armed forces not to help distribute COVID vaccines. Officer Cadet Ladislas Kenderesi is accused of giving a December speech at an anti-lockdown rally. A recording shows a man in full uniform speaking out against what he calls killer vaccines. The Defense Department says Kenderesi was relieved of his duties as a reserve cadet instructor in December and charged by military police on May 12th. Now, as the military and the government face sharp criticism for not doing enough to stop sexual misconduct in the armed forces, a new accusation is adding yet another dimension to the crisis. As Murray Brewster tells us, this time it's a civilian employee who's speaking out.
These days, Christina McLean finds comfort in a meditation routine, a contrast to the 5 years she spent on Defense Department tugs and barges.
I felt alone. I felt scared to work with these guys. I didn't feel like I was going to be protected. I didn't feel like one of the boys.
Far from protected, she says she was abused, called racist names, and subjected to sexist taunts. Her tipping point came when the captain of her boat pulled his pants down to moon another tug in view of his own crew. McLean filed a grievance. Her harassment complaints, supported by another co-worker, spawned 2 military police investigations and an independent review, all of which discounted most of her claims, and then went on to discredit her.
I was expecting that retribution within the unit. I wasn't expecting that when it got to the senior executive arm of the military, when the higher levels stepped in, that they wouldn't support me.
McLean was temporarily suspended because of the review. Her union says this is why people are afraid to come forward.
When I read the investigation report, I was disgusted. It's heartbreaking. What happened to Christina should never happen to any of our members. Shouldn't happen to anybody.
The Defense Department stood by its actions, saying it treated these allegations very seriously.
The behavior
in an unrelated interview on CBC Radio's The Current, it signaled that downplaying misconduct will no longer be acceptable.
I think we have to stop hiding behind words like harmful and inappropriate sexual behavior. It's inappropriate behavior, period.
Tonight, DND did not say whether it will take another look at this case. And for privacy reasons, it declined to say whether anyone other than McLean had been disciplined. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
Canada is condemning the arrest of a journalist from Belarus after its government used a fake bomb threat to force his flight to land inside Belarus. Rafi Boudjikanian has the developments, starting with today's response from the Prime Minister.
The behavior of the Belarus regime is outrageous, illegal, and completely unacceptable.
Along with the Prime Minister's condemnation today came a hint that action might follow.
Canada has existing sanctions in place against Belarus and will be examining further options.
Roman Protasevich was arrested Sunday. He later appeared in this video. In it, he said he had confessed to organizing mass protests. He also said he was fine, though something jumped out for this exiled opposition leader.
We see the bruises on his face behind the makeup, and we know that he was beaten.
Many countries condemned Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko after last year's election. It returned him to power for his 6th consecutive term. Canada said the vote was marred by irregularities and systemic repression.
What has happened with this flight is because of impunity of Lukashenko, because we are fighting for nine months already.
There's a question of moral credibility on the line here.
This political observer says it's time for the international community to act.
We've seen this action take place on Sunday precisely because other misdeeds have not been adequately punished to date.
There is a whole range of measures that are being put in place in response to this incident. The first one is the flight ban.
And tonight, Transport Canada issued a notice to airmen telling Canadian air operators to avoid flying through Belarusian airspace. Also today, Belarus announced it is closing its embassy in Ottawa, offering no further details. Rafi Bujikani on CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, the U.S. Secretary of State is trying to build on a shaky ceasefire in the Middle East, announcing the U.S. is reopening its consulate in Jerusalem to coordinate with the Palestinians and help rebuild Gaza. But Stephen D'Souza shows us a major obstacle to that plan, the reality right now on the ground.
As a tense ceasefire holds, its fragility echoed this morning in the streets of the occupied West Bank. At this funeral for a young Palestinian man, it's clear the tension is right at the surface. People here say he was an innocent, wrongly targeted and killed by Israeli security forces. An Israeli security official tells CBC News the man was known to support terrorism. I don't want peace where Israeli forces can just come here and arrest and shoot people, this man says. That anger underscores the challenge facing U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. To Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he promised help replenishing Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. With Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, he announced the reopening of a consulate in Jerusalem to help Palestinians and offered millions of dollars in aid for rebuilding Gaza.
Our goal is to give the Palestinian people, including those in Gaza, a renewed sense of confidence.
But for many in the West Bank, there's a question of who really speaks for the Palestinians. Abbas's Palestinian Authority was not involved in the 11 days of fighting.
We don't have terrorists at all in here.
This man says Hamas's defiance in launching indiscriminate rocket fire into Israel from Gaza has increased their popularity in the occupied West Bank, the area currently controlled by Abbas and his Fatah party.
So now we are looking for a new leadership. So I think the American leadership is meeting with the wrong people on both sides.
But finding the right people on both sides who want peace and coexistence is, like so many things here, a problem with no easy answers. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Jerusalem.
1 year since he was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer, it's been a day of tributes to George Floyd. In cities across the United States and the world, rallies in Floyd's memory and moments of reflection, not just about his death, but the promise of change it sparked around racial justice and police brutality. Susan Ormison looks at where that change stands 1 year on.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
From the White House and an hour with President Biden.
It was great. He's a genuine guy. They always speak from the heart.
To Capitol Hill urging lawmakers to pass a police reform bill in Floyd's name.
We need to get this taken care of because just like Gianna said, your dad is going to do
it. In the years since his murder, Floyd family members have emerged as powerful advocates.
It's almost like an awakening when suddenly there were other people saying, we see you, we hear you, we feel the pain.
Today, marches and memorials in Atlanta, New York, Minneapolis. But 1 year on, the reality that passions unleashed across America can fade, says Mark Morial, president of the Urban League.
I believe this is a new moment. I believe this moment has a chance to be a movement. I feel the energy, but I'm not naive to the backlash.
As if to underscore the challenge, this morning at George Floyd Square, gunshots, people fleeing, one person injured. 30 states have enacted various new policing laws, even as calls for fundamental police reform have so far largely failed.
If you can't get little piecemeal, watered-down reforms like the George Floyd Policing Act through Congress, then how will we ever get anything of any substance.
Still, recognition that Floyd has inspired a new generation of activists who will wield their power in ways unimaginable a year ago. There is a big push to get that George Floyd Justice in Policing Act through Congress to show at least one tangible outcome. But to do that, it may come up short on police accountability. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Washington.
Well, George Floyd's murder prompted a conversation about systemic racism. Tonight, Ontario's first poet laureate marks Floyd's death.
What do you see when you look into my eyes? How will you ensure my communities thrive?
Randell Adjay's reflections in his first public performance.
Plus, some Canadian entrepreneurs are betting on a coming surge in travel and launching new airlines in anticipation.
Whoa, what are you doing? Interesting timing. Are you nuts?
But first, digging for clams as a new pandemic hobby. What's the harm?
The worst fear is that someone gets sick and possibly dies.
We'll explain. Floodwaters have triggered another state of emergency in the Northwest Territories, this time in Fort Good Hope, which sits on the bank of the rising Mackenzie River. At least 5 homes have already seen damage. Communities further upstream are still recovering from floods caused by the spring breakup more than 2 weeks ago. Well, on the beaches of British Columbia, officials say they are seeing 3 times more people out digging for clams than they did pre-pandemic. Problem is, it's illegal. And as Susanna De Silva tells us, it can be lethal as well.
The sun is up, the tide is out, and the search is on.
First time come here, I just want to exercise and have fun.
Flora Chu said she was unaware it's illegal to dig for clams. Bivalve shellfish harvesting hasn't been allowed for decades in the Lower Mainland because they can be toxic, though she isn't worried about getting sick.
With the chicken to cook, it's yummy food, soup.
Well, the worst fear is that someone gets sick and possibly dies.
Bivalve shellfish, including clams and mussels, are filter feeders, so contaminants build up in their systems. Pollution, but also naturally occurring biotoxins. They can be poisonous and fatal.
Can affect primarily the elderly, the young, little kids, and people with weakened immune systems. You know, we worry about people handling contaminated shellfish, especially kids. They like to play with things. They like to play with, maybe collect shellfish, and then, of course, their fingers go in their mouths.
Harvesting clams is illegal, but catching crabs is legal with a license, and some regular crabbers try to explain the rules.
I try to tell them, you know, that it's rate tight, you shouldn't be picking up those things. But some of them understand, they will stop, but then when you walk away and turn around, they start picking again. So
they just ignore you, so I just think there should be more signs posted.
And in different languages, they say, but officers say they find harvesters of many ethnicities, and translated pamphlets are available, as well as outreach on social media and ethnic newspapers.
And I'll go up to butter clams.
The BC Centre for Disease Control is launching a new information website this week. It tracks cases and says 3 people got sick last month, but that most people don't report it, and many think cooking the clams make them safe.
While cooking will prevent you from getting bacterial illnesses, it's not going to at all do anything with the toxins. And in fact, sometimes the toxins get more potent after cooking.
And besides the wide variety of illnesses, harvesters can also face fines starting at $250. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Delta, British Columbia.
Along the Mississippi Delta, it is starting to sound like normal again. The iconic music of the American South can be heard in clubs again, but it was a long road to get there.
Mural art has been a form of activism for decades.
But first, painting a message. Artists around the world are using George Floyd's image to fight for change. Stay with us.
Welcome back. In so many ways, images have told the story of George Floyd's murder, beginning, of course, with his death, caught on camera 1 year ago today. Other images, like this one, aim to restore his dignity. Artists have etched it onto walls and streets around the world. 1 year on, the paint has faded on some, and others have been defaced with hateful messages as you're about to see. We asked 3 of the artists what they think has really changed.
The mural has been defaced 3 times, but it also has a life of its own. My name is Daniel Angulo. I live in Houston, Texas, and I'm a muralist. I've considered painting over it, actually, just because I feel like it's a lot of work for me to go out there and clean it all the time. But at the same time, people care about it now. So just as much as it has been defaced, it also has been visited by several people. We have candles and flowers, I guess, as gifts for the community.
We're going to stand together. We're going to uplift the good, push down the negative stuff.
We've had the chief of police to come out and actually stand in front of it and told the community and the city that this was not going to happen on his watch. So I think that's something that I have never experienced before, just to see the level of people with some leadership or power in the city that they want to protect our work. We've experienced in Houston that there's been several cases that people have come out and used public space to express their concerns with different issues. I think if that continues, we'll have more to not let us forget what's going on around us. Murals have become part of that effort to not let us forget what we stand for.
My pieces are not political, but for that particular one, we had to. There's a saying that Nina Simone wrote that it's an artist's duty to reflect the times. My name is Mr. Detail 7. I'm a graffiti artist based in Nairobi, Kenya. We wanted to talk about what was happening concerning the racial discrimination that was happening. That picture specifically, it was a good picture to show. It was taken maybe, I think, in a good time in his life. It was kind of smiling, so I thought it was the best photo to use at that time. Haki. It's a Swahili word for justice. On the other side, we also did another mural of a police stepping over a citizen. So it's like a worldwide thing. There's a police brutality, I think, in a lot of countries in the world. So we try to put that message in that whole mural. The message, no, it hasn't faded. It looks a bit old, but it's still there.
What I want is for my son to have a more colorful place and a more colorful world. My name is Jackie Comrie. I am a mural artist, and I'm an artist who is truly obsessed with color. About a month before the George Floyd killing happened, I found out that I was pregnant, and everything hit differently for me. Everything affected me completely different. I started thinking, what if this were my child? How can I keep my child safe? So I felt that I needed to be present in that mural project and for my son, and I needed to contribute and be there, be a part of the movement and be a part of the process and the activism. Of course, there was a street mural, so because of the cars going by, it's already faded over time. There was a few people that actually rode their bikes on top of the letters and on top of the actual mural while we were producing it. So of course it speaks volumes of the resistance and the lack of respect for the message. But the fact that we were there and it was the community and the people that were engaged in that message was what was important. I think the face of George Floyd, and I think that the murals that are being produced, it will continue. Mural art has been a form of activism for decades. It's nothing new. Working in public art and in the public realm, I have a responsibility to use my platform for social change. I feel that I don't take that responsibility, I don't take it for granted. Murals have been produced around the world to talk about politics, to talk about social issues as a way of dialogue. So I think it will continue.
And of course, artists aren't only using paint. Some are using poetry to call for change.
It's been centuries of trauma and racial tension, but Black Death should not be a catalyst for societal introspection.
A little later in the program, Ontario's first poet laureate marks George Floyd's death with a poem never before performed until now. Stay with us. The U.S. has just hit an immunization milestone. Half the adult population is now fully vaccinated. That's 2 doses. With that, life in many places there is quickly changing. Imagine bars, restaurants, concert halls filling up with increasingly maskless crowds. And in a storied American heartland of blues, country, and rock and roll, the effect is transformational. Alex Panetta traveled from Clarksdale, Mississippi to Memphis and then to Nashville to hear the return of sounds the pandemic had silenced.
One small sliver of the American South has supplied the world with an endless harvest of music. The blues, country, rock and roll, all born near the Mississippi Delta. Bill Howlin' Mad Perry describes in just one word the deadly year that silenced so much music.
Hell.
Now the Fertile Crescent of American song is sprouting back to life. In Clarksdale, Mississippi, as in much of America, the show is back on, and normalcy never sounded sweeter.
Can't you hear me when I call? This is what keeps the spirit inside of me alive. You know, without that audience, I'm lost, man. You get used to something, and it's snatched away from you. It hurts. It hurts real bad.
Oh, and now it's back.
Now it's back, and I love it.
This town is known for its blues. Many clubs, like Ground Zero, have just reopened after sitting silent for 1 year.
It trickled down to nothing. We went from a city that had live music every single day to only 1, maybe 2 venues being open.
So what exactly are we looking at here?
So these are plastic partitions.
It's back open with new protective glass and a new optimism.
Oh, I'm thinking about the brighter days, the brighter side. I think in my heart of hearts, I think it's going to get better. I think the vaccine is going to help a lot.
This region has been deserted once before. Millions fled the South in pursuit of a better life to cities like Chicago, Detroit, New York. Some stayed closer to home. In nearby Memphis, B.B. King's Blues Club, one of the city's best-known venues, almost went out of business. But now, it's half full again. Customers are coming back, and face masks are coming off.
Y'all excited to be here? Yeah! I'm Graham, I'll be your tour guide.
Tourists are returning to one of the city's best-known destinations, Sun Studio.
As we listen to tunes down here, you'll be hearing them bounce off the same walls that recorded them.
Guide Graham Winchester talks about the legends that got their start here. B.B. King, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, Elvis.
We can listen in on the moment that he debuted Elvis on public radio.
Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right with you.
This is a room that people come from all over the world to stand in. And to think that even like one person couldn't get that experience while we were closed bums me out.
But Graham doesn't just talk about music. He can really, really play it. He plays in 9 bands, teaches, and gives tours. And this past year, everything dried up. To pay the bills, he repurposed furniture. Now, Graham's gig schedule is filling up, and he's shared tears with fans at his first shows.
This pandemic has truly changed like the way that we feel about music and how grateful we are to play it and go see it. I mean, it's not just something you say, it really is real.
A few hours east in Nashville is the Grand Ole Opry, the cathedral of country music, and its pews are packed again. It's just reopened to full capacity. Its mask requirement, gone.
I was traveling along, playing anywhere I could.
Bluegrass star Rhonda Vincent is back playing for crowds. The pandemic kept the Grammy winner from touring for the first time in decades.
My husband and I have been married now 37 years. So we had never been together that long, consistently, continuously in our 37 years because I had always been traveling. So I think at first it was like, this is fun. And then, I think everyone was, after a while, it's like, well, don't you need to do something? Don't you need to go somewhere?
Tonight, she's performing a parody song about being locked down at home.
I ain't been nowhere, man. I ain't been nowhere, man.
Been sitting in my chair, man. Growing out my hair, man. Sleeping, I've done my share, man. I ain't been nowhere.
In downtown Nashville, the bars are hopping again. Sidewalks are jammed. And masks? Here? Forget it. Those are long gone. Never mind that this pandemic is not actually over, or that this region is among the least vaccinated in the country. Fewer people here have gotten a first shot than in Canada.
I'm back. I'm ready to do what I love to do.
Howlin' Mad got his shots, and he's ready, like all the artists we spoke to get back out on the road.
I ain't gonna stop. So when I stop, they'll be pushing me in that oven, to light up the fire and everything. It'll be over with then. Until that time, I'm gonna be out here booking, juking, and having fun, okay?
Could COVID strike again? This pandemic has been a bit like a blues shuffle. The chords keep repeating, up and down, again and again. But this country is more hopeful that maybe this one uplifting high note might carry forever. Alexander Panetta, CBC News, Memphis.
Great. Memphis and Nashville may be just some of the destinations you're hoping to hit when travel restrictions finally ease. Entrepreneurs are banking on it.
There's going to be an explosion, a resurgence of travel by individuals once the pandemic is over.
Indeed, new airlines are starting up, hoping to catch the rush of travelers. Will that gamble pay off? But first, something spectacular is about to happen way above the clouds.
If the clouds stay away tonight, Western Canada is in for a cosmic show. The super flower blood moon will coincide with the first lunar eclipse in more than 2 years. So in the wee hours, the Earth will come between the sun and the moon will be the closest it gets to Earth in its monthly orbit. That will make it appear larger than usual. Then, for about 15 minutes, the Earth will totally eclipse the sun, turning the moon a deep red. Pretty cool, right? But there is a catch. It'll mainly be visible in the Pacific time zone starting just after 4 in the morning.
Welcome back. An update now on a story we brought you earlier this month. An Ontario voice actor says social media giant TikTok has changed its North American text-to-speech voice. Bev Standing is suing the owners of TikTok for allegedly using her voice for the app's text-to-voice feature without her consent. She says older videos with her voice are still on the platform, but says no new ones will be made. After all the pain the airline industry has endured, it is looking forward to the end of the pandemic. As many Canadians begin dreaming of travel, Canada's major carriers cannot wait. But as Peter Armstrong shows, brand new airlines hope to ride a current of pent-up demand.
There's still something dreamlike about planning a trip. To many, the idea of hopping on a flight to some sun-soaked beach feels almost outlandish. So imagine how people would react if you told them in the midst of all this, you were launching a new airline.
And people go, whoa, what are you doing? Interesting timing. Are you nuts?
But this serial entrepreneur says now is the time to strike. So his new airline is cutting deals with airports starved of revenue and picking up equipment at rock-bottom prices.
We're able to get airplanes at one heck of a price.
Low-cost Canada Jetlines will start by focusing on flights to sun destinations. It's part of a wave of new airlines rushing to grab part of an expected travel bonanza when restrictions finally lift for good. Online travel sites in the U.S. are already seeing a major uptick in bookings.
With the vaccine rollout, we've seen a lot of that pent-up demand start to translate into more bookings.
Through the pandemic, airlines lost billions of dollars, laid off thousands of workers, and worried the industry may have changed forever.
I have rejected that theory from the beginning.
Sure, there may not be as much business travel as companies communicate more by Zoom, but commercial travel may be set to rise as research indicates older Canadians plan to travel more, a phenomenon that will only be boosted by the end of the pandemic.
There's going to be an explosion, a resurgence of travel by individuals once the pandemic is over.
So new airlines have a brief window to get their financing in order, get their planes, and find customers.
It's now or never.
That's what's fueling Ravinder Minhas, a startup way of looking at opportunity.
Where it looks like things are down is the best time to get in.
And yes, things are still down, but it feels like better days are just ahead. And if all these new airlines do take off, that means more options and just maybe lower prices for consumers when travel restrictions finally give way. Peter Armstrong, CBC News, Toronto.
Stay tuned. Okay, for this man, his pen is a form of protest.
If it were my life under his knee, how would you save mine?
What Ontario's first poet laureate has to say about 1 year since the murder of George Floyd. Meet Randell Ajay, author, community leader, proponent of spoken word as a catalyst for transformation, and he's also Ontario's first poet laureate. In his first public poem, created exclusively for The National, Ajay marks the 1 year anniversary of the killing of George Floyd.
And we're going to step away now so that his words can be our moment for this May 25th. Good night.
Good night.
I am coated in melanated skin. No one's opinion of me has to become my reality. It pains me to think the perceptions of this skin have turned into unjustifiable casualties. One day, our freedom is destined. The solidarity of our plight is effervescent, but the atrocities against our pigment have become fluorescent. On May 25th, 2020, the journey to racial equity took a shift, but I am disappointed. It took the murder of another black man on our screen to see the bigger picture more clearly. No one leaves our homes with the hopes of dying so their lives can propel social change. Please take a moment and say their names. George Floyd is one of many who died by an officer of the law, a job meant to serve and protect. Instead, he put a knee to his neck. Without the camera footage, would you even know it happened? Can true justice be imagined? It's hard to be satisfied with the guilty verdict. Ma'Khia Bryan died just 20 minutes after we all heard it. It's been centuries of trauma and racial tension, but Black death should not be a catalyst for societal introspection. We are alchemists, transforming pain into progression, turning 9 minutes and 29 seconds into lessons. I can't breathe! A rallying cry of a silenced existence. The pursuit of our freedom is celestial to us. The spirits of our ancestors revisit us from above. Resistance is fundamental as we affirm Black joy and love. The resilience of African people is fueled by ancestral pain. Our interconnectedness weaves a spirit of community that runs in our veins. We must forge a community free of racial discrimination, confront a deep-rooted history of injustice and hatred within our nation.
The loss of life should not be trivialized. As we search for meaningful reform, humanizing blackness should be a norm.
Moving beyond solidarity statements and performative actions must be prioritized for relationship building with black communities to be formalized. I am an African, an embodiment of cultural memories and ancestral legacies.
I come from brilliance, joy, and excellence. What do you see when you look into my eyes? How will you ensure my communities thrive? If it were my life under his knee, how would you save mine?